Welcome to the special edition interlude short segment on how to write essay number one. By the time you're watching this, I will have posted the handout for essay number one, and I will have posted this. I can't have posted it already because I'm recording it right now, but when you're watching it, I will have completed this recording and posted it to the Canvas site. I've said this before, it's one of the things I like about asynchronous classes is the weird combinations of verb tenses. You can use future and past tense back and forth in the same sentence, and it still makes sense for some reason. So what I want to do is imagine that we're in the human world still, and as we hopefully will be again soon. I'm handing out a piece of paper in a classroom that has the essay number one assignment on it. You can just click on that thing on the Canvas page. And then I explain in words to a group of people what I want you to do on that essay. So let's pretend this is the classroom situation, and I'm about to explain what I want you to do on that essay. And I want to do this fairly carefully because it can seem like a daunting project, but if you listen to the following explanation that I'm about to give here, it can be easy and fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call up the handout here and go over it bit by bit and just explain to you what I expect on this essay right here. So again, you can find the same handout there on the Canvas page and a link right next to this video. Obviously, you found that because you are watching and hearing the sound of my voice right now. So you can easily find this handout here. What you're going to do is you're going to apply two theory assessment strategies, one from chapter 3 and one from chapter 4, to two theories of your choice. And what I have on this handout, I know we're not supposed to make handouts anymore that go past a page. It's a long handout, and it's only because there's so many little examples on it and things like that. And I thought that would be helpful. But in this video segment here where I explain the assignment, I think I'll cut to the chase and just point to the parts where you want to focus your attention to achieve the goals of this essay. So what are you going to do for this essay? You're going to choose and describe two theories about the world. Begin the essay by just saying, I'm going to talk about the theory of gravity and the theory that the image of Jesus is on the Shroud of Turin. Those are your two theories. And you will spend, if you choose those two. And again, I say this a couple of times in the handout, you can pick things that we've already discussed or I've discussed in the lecture videos, or you can come up with some of your own. In fact, it's more fun, I think, if you come up with some that haven't been discussed in the lectures, just so you can apply these assessment strategies to theories that you choose. In any case, suppose you talk about the Shroud of Turin and gravity. What you would do is you would explain to me those two theories. And that might take a page. You just say, here's the theory of gravity. It's Isaac Newton suggested that objects fall according to a force between two massive objects. And you would just tell me what the theory of gravity is. Don't go into any assessment things. Don't just tell me what the theory is. Then tell me what the second theory is. Tell me about the fact that there's a large number of people who believe that the actual image of Jesus on the Shroud of Turin, maybe a little history, what people think of it. So once you've established the explanation of those two theories, then you will go on and apply two theory assessment strategies to each of them. All right. So what you're going to do in the next section of the essay is explain to me the hypothetical deductive model. Don't just try to apply it without explaining it. Tell me what the hypothetical deductive model is. I put here on the handout, if you want to find it in the book, there it is on page 43 through 45 of the Godfrey Smith book, or rewatch the lectures on chapter 3. You might recall that I explain at some length how to apply the hypothetical deductive model to assessing a theory. And you're going to want to see how each of those two theories does on the hypothetical deductive model. So you'll tell me what the model is. You'll apply it to theory number 1, see how it does on theory number 1. You'll apply it to theory number 2, see how it does on theory number 2. And you'll say some things about the status of your theories, your two theories, after having assessed them according to the hypothetical deductive model. Then you'll go on to explain to me Karl Popper's theory of demarcation. If you've forgotten that, rewatch the videos for chapter 4. And then you will apply Karl Popper's theory assessment strategy to your two theories. And you will tell me how they do on Popper's tests. So again, in both cases, you're going to want to tell me what the hypothetical deductive model is and then apply it to both theories. You're going to tell me what Karl Popper's theory is and then apply it to both theories. And lastly, you can just reflect on the implications of these analyses. What do you think? Feel free to say some, use the first person singular there. I know that you're often told not to do that in college papers, but it's a philosophy class, so we should express our wisdom on the matter at the end of the essay. So you might say, the hypothetical deductive model is too kind, or we're great, or why do we need Karl Popper? Whatever you think. And again, if your opinion slips in here, that's fine. I want to know what you can make of the assessment that you've just done. Now, let me be very clear on the next point right here. This is really important. This may or may not be a research paper. If you do any research, let it be focused on the two theories that you choose to analyze. If you choose gravity and the Shroud of Turin, you may want to look a little into the theory of gravity and the theory that Jesus' image is on the Shroud of Turin. Maybe that involves a little bit of internet research. Try to find reputable sources. Don't go nuts. You can't go to the library yet anyway. You don't need to read books on these things. Just a little background info, just so you can tell me accurately what these two theories say. That should be the end of your looking at secondary sources. When it comes to understanding the hypothetical deductive model and Karl Popper's theory of demarcation, use our course text, the Theory and Reality book. Don't use any other sources. And I say this not just because I want you to use our text or something. I say this because it will actually be counterproductive if you start looking at secondary sources on the hypothetical deductive model and Karl Popper's theory of demarcation. The reason it will be counterproductive is if you Google those things, you will find 1,000 different applications of both of those tests in different fields and different forms. They mean very different things in different disciplines. And it will only confuse you. And you might end up choosing some irrelevant approach derived from Karl Popper's other works or other applications of the hypothetical deductive model. These things are both very complicated in general, but in the specific application in the philosophy of science, they are very narrowly defined, very specific, and pretty easy to understand. So stick with our book, stick with the lecture videos. Don't Google Karl Popper. Don't Google the hypothetical deductive model. It will only make things worse. You will find things that have nothing to do with the philosophy of science, and you may not be able to tell whether or not they have anything to do with the philosophy of science. So I'm not expecting lengthy or any bibliographies at the end of these papers here. I want you to, and when you explain Popper, the hypothetical deductive model, you can quote our text. You can put page numbers for references there. You don't have to put them in a bibliography. I know what these books are. In any case, feel free to refer directly and specifically to our course text in establishing your descriptions of the hypothetical deductive model and Karl Popper's theory of demarcation. Then again, I've just got a whole long list of things you could think about here. I talked about the flying spaghetti monster, the law of attraction, or the secret. And so, there was a couple examples there that I'm referring here from the lecture videos that you've watched. A couple others there, the wave particle duality of light. That's a tough one. But, if you've got a solid background in modern physics, maybe that would be a fun one to do. A lot of highly theoretical physics is a little problematic on Karl Popper's model there. It's a funny thing about it. Sometimes those things can be fun if you are well versed. Don't try it if you don't know what wave particle. Don't take to the study of modern physics just so you can do a thing on wave particle duality of light. That would be way too much, and it's really quite confusing. All right, so if you can't think of a topic, feel free to contact me in an email. I'm doing pretty good keeping up on the responding to emails here, so I should be able to get back to you here. But you might even think about, if you're studying anything related to the natural sciences theories in your own field, that might be fun to do too, to see how theories that are embraced in your discipline stand up to the hypothetical deductive model and Karl Popper's theory of demarcation. Now, I've already made a fairly long-winded explanation of this, so I have this, I think, graceful little bullet point or paragraph in the handout here that sums it all up. So if it seems kind of an overwhelming project, don't think of it all at once, step by step. You're doing 4 things. 1, tell me what the 2 theories are. Maybe that goes on for a page. 2, tell me what the hypothetical deductive model is and apply it to each of your 2 theories. 3, tell me what Karl Popper's theory of demarcation is and apply it to your 2 theories. And 4, tell me what you think of the whole thing. And you can kind of do those things one step at a time, and that might make it a little easier. Don't start talking Karl Popper in the introduction paragraph. Don't apply those things when you're just describing the theories. Make little packages out of these things. Tell me what the 2 theories are. Don't do anything else. Tell me what the hypothetical deductive model is and how it applies to these 2 theories. Don't do anything else. Tell me what Karl Popper's theory of demarcation is and apply it to the 2 theories. Don't do anything else. And then generalize and summarize if you care to. And if you envision it as a couple of mini projects like that stapled together into a 4-page paper, I think it makes it an easy and manageable project, right? Again, I say this in a number of places here. I've only seen it go bad when people Google these characters. Don't cite outside sources for Popper and the hypothetical deductive model. Cite our course text. Don't use other information from other books or other websites or anything like that. Theory and reality should be your source for understanding those 2 things and supporting your claims in this paper. You can also, because in chapter 3 and chapter 4 lecture videos that I've posted, I explained, you might remember, at great length how to apply these theories. And I used a number of examples in both cases. So if you were watching those lectures at normal speed where my voice doesn't sound really high-pitched, you can see over and over again how it is that you apply the hypothetical deductive model to theories, how you apply Karl Popper's demarcation test to a couple of theories. So you'll have a number of examples at your disposal. Don't try to write this until you're done with chapter 4. You want to get all the way through the material on Karl Popper before you try to write the paper. And it is due on Friday, June 18th, and you will submit it. Just go to assignments on the Canvas page. There's an entry for essay 1, and you will upload it there. All right, so there is the details of, there's Rabbit. There's the details of, it's not a rabbit, that's my cat Rabbit. It's the details of writing essay number 1. There's only 2 essays for this summer session class, so that's half of the writing there. You know, there are the quizzes, which is the whole of the testing element there. So this is one of the major pieces for the summer class. Again, hopefully this video explains clearly how to write that paper. You have the handout there. You have lots of examples in the video lectures that you've been watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I will grade them pretty quickly once they've been submitted on account of summer class. You got to have fast turnaround time because there's not that much time in the class. And then, as I said before, once we get through the social science book, just one more later on in the semester. I call that a writing light, lecture heavy writing light summer session class. Any questions, contact me. Hopefully that made it clear.